Very good morning, students. So, in this second lecture related to the ecology, we'll be talking about some related aspects to the ecology. So, first of all, I'm starting with a very important basic concept that what is habitat. Now, this is a very important question as per your syllabus also. So, the word is habitat. So everybody knows that habitat is the place of living of an organism. Now, every habitat has its own different peculiar type of the environment. So if I take an example, suppose of the same forest that we have taken in the last lecture. Suppose this is a forest, and we are taking up one particular area in this particular forest where we have got like cats living in this particular area. So here we have the cats. Now this particular area will be having its own unique kind of plants, unique kind of soil, unique kind of, you can say, the climate. It can include the rainfall or the sunlight, and these animals, they will be like marking their territory with different unique mechanisms. Now if I take this particular area into account, and here we have the cats living in this particular area. Now one related thing is the food. So any animal which is living in a particular area inside a forest, that means that particular animal will be getting proper food in that particular area. That's why they are living in that part of the forest. Now apart from the food, there is one more important thing. It is the shelter. That means the cats are also having a proper shelter in this particular round area in that forest. Now why they will not be going out of this circle? There can be some circumstances, like there can be other predators which can harm those cats outside this circle. That means if the cats are going out of this particular area, they are under the threat to be eaten up by the predators. That means the cats will be like limited in this particular area. No, they are getting proper shelter, proper food, and there is one important thing. It is the reproduction. That means they should be having proper you can say circumstances for proper reproduction in that particular area. So if these three things are met in a particular area for an animal, that will become its habitat. So that's why we are calling this round circle as the habitat of the cats, because they are getting food, they are getting shelter, they can reproduce in this particular area, and they can increase their number. So that means a habitat, it is the place of living of an organism where the animal is getting all the necessary things along with the ability to reproduce, to increase the number of the species. Now students, after this particular thing, I'm just taking up one more important you can say the peripheral word in ecology, and that is called as the environment. Now, if we talk about this particular word, the environment, actually this term it means the surroundings of an animal or the surroundings of an organism. Now, the environment, it is around a particular animal in which it is living, in which it is reproducing, in which it is like feeding. So the habitat, actually it is a part of the environment which is outside the animal. So that means the environment is containing all the aspects of biota as well as the abiotic things. Now if you talk about the environment of this particular area, so we have got, say, if we talk about the sunlight, suppose we have the sunlight like for 8 hours per day. If I talk about the rainfall, so we are getting, suppose, 100 mm rainfall annually. So it is you cannot say it is a big rainfall, but it is average rainfall in this particular area. So that will comprise the environment of this circle. Now if I say that there is some hindrance over here, suppose we have a small mountain present on the right side of the circle of this particular area, and we have a mountain over here also. That means if the animals, they have to move from this circle area, they have to travel like into this direction, then they have to go into different directions in the forest. There is one way also, just like they can go from this side also, but still they prefer to go from this side because it has got whole large area to move about. So what I am telling you is that if I go again to the word environment, if we have a mountain over here, suppose the sun is over here, so the light rays will be going to the mountain area, but they will not go to this particular circular area. But the final rays, or you can say the afternoon rays, they are going only up to this particular area due to the presence of this mountain. That means the geographical or topographical aspects of a particular area will also affect the environment. It will also affect the sunlight, the, you can say, the content or the intensity of the sunlight, or you can say the photo period will be changing in that particular circular area due to the presence of the mountain. So that means the environment of a particular area will decide that what kind of plants will grow in this particular area. Now I'm just taking up a part of this circular field. I'm just taking this red rectangular part of this field. Now this area, this red area, rectangular area, is not getting any kind of sunlight throughout the day, suppose. Now if this area is not getting any sunlight throughout the day, it will not be having like a good vegetation. There will be plants, but those plants will be of different nature that can live without the sunlight. So that means the type of the plants in this area will be different from the type of the plants in this area. So why this is the difference? Why there is a difference? This is only and only because of the presence of the mountain on this site. So that means the presence or the absence of mountainary areas, the presence or absence of rivers, lakes, ponds can change the total environment of a particular given area. So this is called as environment, and environment is a sum total of all the climatic, you can say, sequences or climatic conditions which are present in a given particular area. So the environment can be defined as the aggregate of all the external conditions and the influences within the area, which can be the abiotic or the biotic factors which affect the life, and the development of an organism in its natural habitat. That means the environment will affect the whole life of the particular animals living in that particular area. Suppose if we talk about the average life in a particular country, say in India, we have got an average life of 80 years for humans. And if we talk about the average life in the case of in England, suppose, so this is 90 years. So there is a gap of 10 years of average life in between the two countries. Now why is it so? This is because of the environment. This is because of the food that we take in. This is because of the water we take in. This is because of all the sum total of the conditions, or the, you can say, the factors which are affecting the organisms. So likewise, the environment will affect all the abiotic and the biotic things of a particular area, and that will help in the development of a different unique patterns of plants and animals in this particular area. Now talking as a whole, if I just summarize the whole of the environment, the habitat and the organism and their interrelationship. Now how can I depict this particular thing in this particular rectangle? Now what we can take is that this is the example of a forest. Here we have the organisms. So these are the organisms. Now the organisms, they are present in a unique kind of atmosphere. Now atmosphere is actually the sum total of the lithosphere and the hydrosphere, or you can say there is one component which is called as the hydrosphere. It should be sphere. So atmosphere is related to the gases, the hydrosphere is related to the water, and we have the third component of the environment, which is the lithosphere. Now litho refers to the land, the terrestrial factors. So the organisms actually, they are interacting with atmosphere, they are interacting with the hydrosphere and with the lithosphere. And the most important thing is that as atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere, they are in continuous interaction with each other also. So actually these are the interactions of the organisms with the components of the physical environment in which they are living. So here we are taking the example of the forest. So here we have like different types of organisms. Organisms pertain to the different animals and the plants. So here I am not just taking up the animals. Now organisms can be animals and plants. So they are interacting with the atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere and vice versa. So this is the overall summary diagram. You can go for the environment or the ecosystem in a particular area.